Yes, even in masks, it's good to see.
That's right. Well, I'm excited to hear what you all have to present today.
And we were really
Is that
excited.
water?
We were really excited to present for you.
Good.
We worked hard on this, and we have nothing but good spirits. So.
Good. I
We're
love
excited.
your logo. That looks
Yes.
great.
Thank you. That was all David.
David, nice
Well,
job.
let's real quick. Let's run around the room and let's all introduce ourselves in case we don't know each other.
Okay.
I'm Landon Kane. I'm the CFO of Pioneer 5K.
I'm David Haney, Operations Manager.
I'm Sarah Crable. I am the marketing coordinator.
Yeah.
And I'm Nash Castler, the event coordinator.
Great. Nice
Right.
to meet you all.
It's nice to meet you. All right, so I think we're gonna go ahead and start with Nash.
Okay.
And we're gonna Nash is basically gonna lay out what this 5K is gonna look like that we're looking to put on for you guys.
Okay.
So,
Great.
Nash, if you can take it away.
Alright. Is there a clicker or something?
I think you just gotta use the computer.
That's fine.
Oh, we can move that. We can move that chair out. If we don't need it.
Alright. Okay, so Nash Castler, the event coordinator. I'm just going to be talking to you about what the blueprint is going to look like for the 5K.
Okay.
Okay, so for a venue, we're still looking at a couple of areas on where we could possibly have this event. But, or actually, can I take my mask off?
Yes, you can. Fine.
So, like I was saying, there are a couple places we're still looking at, but we are very heavily looking at Black Bob Park. Now, the reason why we're choosing this place is because it's clean, family friendly, it has a great course to run on, and overall, it's a really nice place, and it just presents itself not just in a way where we could host a 5K, but just a place where we could host an event in general. All right, so for the course. One lap around the course is 1.5 miles, and since it's not 5K regulation, we'll make the runners run 2 laps around the course, so that's 3 or 3.1K, or 3.1 miles, which is the 5K. Again, the course is really flat and it's really nice. It's not too challenging for runners. It's not too hard, and I just really like how the course is like, how it goes around the entire park, so. And I just don't like how it doesn't really go into like any woods or any kind of areas where runners would get lost. It's a really nice course, it's flat, and it goes around the whole park, and runners wouldn't really get like lost or anything. Okay, for the event schedule. So if we were to schedule this event, it would probably be on a Saturday, since it's the weekend, everybody would be more free then, and the event would open, so first the event would open at 8 o'clock in the morning. We think this is a good time because it would get everybody, like our setup crew, ready to set up everything. We think an hour and a half is a good enough amount of time for people to get there, for people to stretch out, get ready, and just enough time to make sure everything is under control and ready to go on the way. Race will start at 9:30 in the morning, and we think that's a good start time because the sun will be out. People won't be too tired. It's not too early in the morning for people to still wake up. And the race will be done at 10:30. So to run a 5K, most people would probably get done around like 20 minutes, 30 minutes for slow people, or maybe walkers like 40 minutes, but everyone should be done within an hour, if not less than an hour. After that will be the awards 30 minutes after the race is done. For the awards, it should not take long, it should only take maximum of 15 minutes. For the awards, we will be giving out medals to those who came in the top 5 and to those who donated, not necessarily the most, but who just donated a good amount. This isn't like about who donated like the most amount of money or who's contributing the most. It's just, we're just looking for people who've been donating like a good amount during the event. And afterwards, the event will fully close at 12 o'clock during the day. Now for the setup crew and the takedown crew will probably take down some stuff beforehand on that, like water tables and such things, but everything should be done by 12, and that should give enough time for everybody to leave and everybody to make sure the whole event is done. For event employers, we have 6 categories. Yeah, 6 categories for all the types of people that will be working at the event. First, we'll have concession stand workers. These concession stands will be at the end of the finish line or near the finish line so that when the runners are done, they'll be able to refuel, hydrate, be able to take food. We will have about 3 tables set up, as long as with a t-shirt stand, which we'll talk about in a minute. Next, there's water station workers. So there's going to be 2 tables during the course. Is there a way I can go back to that?
If you go here.
Okay. So on the course, there'll be 2 water station tables. One about right here, and then one down over in this area to have them more spread out. And when the runners run around, get water, they'll be handed out water. Next, we have first aid and police. So for first aid, if anybody were to get hurt, if anybody were to pass out, we would have people on the spot. And these people would also be standing at the finish line if people were, just really tired and they just didn't make sure no one would want to collapse or no one would get hurt. And if there was an incident of any sort, we would have police on the spot, make sure everything is under control and nothing going on. So for starting line and finish line workers, so these are going to be the type of people that are going to start the race, to start off the runners, whether that's saying ready to go, waving a flag, doing whatever you get them to run. At the end of the race, there will be people, like I said, that will help runners make sure they stay on their feet, they don't collapse. There will be people to run the clock. There will be a clock at the finish line so runners could see what time they got, as well as someone that will be keeping track of how many people have crossed the finish line at each spot. And then this will also go for concession stand workers technically, since that's close to the finish line, pretty much. And then next will be setup and teardown crew. These people will come early in the morning, probably around 7, to set up everything, as well as staying afterwards to make sure everything is taken down. And like I said, they don't have to wait till 12 to take everything down. Like maybe during awards or sort, they could go ahead and get a head start, take down water tables or something. But these are going to be the types of people that will help kind of set up from the event, take it down. And then there'll be the manager who will walk around, make sure everything is under control and set up. All right, so charity and funding. This will be talked about a lot more later during the presentation, but just to hit off on the main basics. Children's Mercy Hospital is our charity that we're funding. Money is going to go to the supplies and resources for patients. So that's saying like getting toys or getting medical equipment, getting things to help get all the children well and healthy again. And our goal is to reach $5,000 for Children's Mercy Hospital. And this little picture right here will probably have one of those little goal thermometers at the race, so you can see how much money we've raised. And at the awards, we will announce how much money we've raised and thank everybody for their donations. So for 5K budget, again, is going to be talked about more later during the presentation, but just to hit off on the basics, our 5K budget is $3,000. We will be expecting 100 to 200 runners. We will be preparing to have more runners if that does happen. T-shirts will be free to those who have paid fees and who are running in the race. But if there are people who are, at the park, just not for the race, just, go to the park for some reason, or for people who want to just spectate, not run, those people will be charged $7 if they want to buy a t-shirt. Or for runners, if they want to get an extra t-shirt for somebody, $7. And concessions will be free. There's not going to be a whole lot at the concession stand. There'll be water, Gatorade, protein bars, granola bars, and maybe a couple other things, but those will be of no charge. You can take as much as you want and as much as you need. So, just to conclude everything on my end of things, we are very heavily looking at Blackbaud Park and really hoping that we could take that to hold the event. We have a 5K schedule ready to go whenever this gets approved. We have a good category of event staff that could help run and make sure everything's going on correctly. Children's Mercy is our fundraiser. Our goal is to reach $5,000, and the budget for everything going on to run this entire event will be $3,000. That's all from me.
I have one question right there. There's more questions later, but so you're saying that you would, have a net, profit of $2,000, or you'd raise $8,000 to cover the $3,000 expenses?
We would probably just raising that to $2,000, so.
Okay. Okay, great, thank you.
That's on Nash. So just to go over a couple of those things, things that we're really excited about. Having the location at Black Hawk Park, we think is gonna be a great opportunity. It's really local. It's a fairly recognizable location, so we think it's gonna be really, we're really looking forward to having that spot. And then again, we'll talk about more, pretty much all of this, with the rest of our presentations, but
Okay.
we're very excited about this. Alright, so next up, we're gonna have David talk about just kind of the day-to-day operations and what that's gonna look like the day of the race.
Okay, so my job, he laid out the blueprint, and my job is to make sure that we run it efficiently and we handle everything, away and everything's smooth and operating perfectly. So, with Pioneer 5K, we want our staff to be leaders. We want, the people around us to be, good people. So, we have Olathe North Nationals Honor Society, a part of our staff, and they're gonna be helping us with, they're gonna be in our crews. They're gonna be among us, and with us, I've created 6 different, crews, and, one will be a setup crew, and that's full of us 4, and, the National Honor Society staff. We have a registration booth, and they will be assisting, Landon with, registering runners, handing out numbers, all that. We have an information booth, just letting people know what we're about. We have a water station, a snack station group, and a cleanup group. So, everyone will arrive at 6 a.m. We will set up cones, arrows, caution tape, just basically marking out the track. So runners, like, it's not hard to get lost, but runners, like, it will basically mark it off so people won't step on the track, and it'll be good. We will have a designated registration booth, probably down by where people park at. So when people drive by, they could see it from down over here by Walgreens and everything.
So is that circle, is that the starting point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
And then, we will have an information booth. I'll talk about it in more detail later, but we will also have signs, pointing to the bathroom, like directing people to where the bathrooms are, to where water is, trash, and so on, concessions, all that. Okay, so now, the first booth I'm gonna talk about is the competitors booth, and that's gonna be Landon and group number 1 and group number 3 until they have, until the race is about to start, and then they're gonna go get water and whatnot. But their job is gonna be registering runners, handing out giving out sponsor information, assigning runner numbers, and distributing t-shirts, and collecting registration fees, which is gonna be Landon, because we don't want like high schoolers collecting.
Good idea.
At the information booth, it's gonna be Nash and Sarah in group number 2 and group number 4 until 9 a.m. when they gotta go to like the snack booths and whatnot. They're gonna be handing out pamphlets about Children's Mercy, and hopefully you could be there. I don't know if you want to be there, but hopefully you could be there to assist in like giving information and everything. We'll also be collecting money from t-shirts, like we'll be selling t-shirts for $7, and we'll be collecting money from that, and we will also be handing out they will also be handing out t-shirts, and we'll be collecting donations. Nash and Sarah will also handle the money, so high schoolers. So during the race, we will have groups 1 and 2 leave the booths and go to the finish line, and they will be assisting in keeping track of placing, distributing water, food to the people that finish, and like emceeing who's finished, emceeing who's like passed, just announcing, just, you know, keeping the energy high, just creating an environment of like just high energy and like gratitude. After the race, the awards, Landon will MC the event and start off by thanking everyone for coming out, congratulating the attendees. I will thank Olathe North National Honor Society. Sarah will announce the winners. Nash will announce the awards for the runs with the most sponsors, like who's created the most revenue. And Landon will announce if we've hit our goal and how much we've hit. Also, we would like you to thank the people for showing up and or give more information about Children's Mercy, if you would like. It's really a really tight schedule. And closing and cleanup, we want to do this efficiently. We don't want to leave everything dirty like Blackwell. We don't want it. We want it clean. We want it cleaner than when we found it. Every group is responsible for breaking down their station. All groups, after a group finishes, they will be assisting another group if they're not done yet. Now, as like operations manager, there's gonna be like problems coming up. Like you gotta prepare for them, and we want to be well prepared. Injury, Nash went over it a little bit, but we have a first aid booth just in case someone like faints or something like that. If we run out of food or snacks, people like can call me and I'll run over there. I'm a pretty fast guy. Bring people some food and water and whatnot. We have communication. Somebody like falls or like there's some tape that comes off the ground or like something just messes up. We all have each other's phone numbers so we can get a hold of each other. We don't need walkie-talkies. If there's interpersonal problems, like in recent history, there's been like bombings and like people shootings or even fights or something like that. We have Olathe police on standby. Children, we are at a park, so like if there are children running around, people could be stepping on the track. Somebody could call me, and then I could be notified, and then I'll personally ask them to leave. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We have a really set schedule, a really set agenda, and we thoroughly thought through, and we really want to make this work, and we're really excited for it.
Good information.
So, I think we're really excited about a couple of aspects of like the day-to-day, or of the day of stuff. One of it is working with NHS, working with Olathe North to get volunteers. I know that I was in NHS and I was always striving for hours. So I think this is a great way for them to fulfill it, and I think it's a win-win for both us and the Olathe North National Honor Society students. Another thing I wanted to add was the first aid station. We looked at having EMTs on site, but we decided it's a 5K, it's not as big. Having a first aid booth, and it's really convenient because Olathe Med is on 151st,
Right.
which is right. I looked it up. It's a 10-minute drive just straight down 151st. So we have access to a medical center, to a hospital really close by. So we figured that was the best option. All right. So next up, we're gonna have Sarah, and she's gonna be going over more like the marketing stuff and how we're gonna get this outreach to the community.
Yes, so I am Sarah Crable, I am the marketing coordinator. When Pioneer 5K starts to look at where to have one of our 5Ks, we look at the community that we're going to have the 5K, what the running community is like there, and then what 5Ks are already happening. So in the year 2021, there are already 25 5Ks scheduled within 25 miles radius of Kansas City. These are some of the ones that are happening, and as you can see, some have asterisks. That is because often races will have 5Ks along with a 10K and maybe a half marathon. Because we're doing just a 5K, that gives us an opportunity to have on a simple course people who have not run before or aren't training for a half marathon, but really an opportunity for people who don't normally run to come and participate in this fundraiser. with a SWOT analysis, so strengths of our 5K, this is what we do. Like, we are a 5K planning company, and so we have success financially and organizationally with this, and so that is one thing that we are just on top of it for. Also, to partner with Children's Mercy, it's a recognizable name in the community. People want to support Children's Mercy, and so that's a strength for this fundraiser, as well as partnering with the positive image that Children's Mercy has is really a benefit for us. And weaknesses, we are a new company, but again, it's what we do. We are learning, we are getting better every single time, and we plan and prepare for each situation, as you can already see from the presentation. Opportunities. Currently, during the pandemic, people are looking for things to do because everything feels like it has been shut down, and so to have a 5K during this time is really a new opportunity during the pandemic, as well as with gyms being closed. More people have started running outside, more people would be thinking about running a 5K or just helping in general. And then with the pandemic, people are becoming more health conscious about themselves becoming more healthy, and then also thinking about people with illnesses, and like working with Children's Mercy, people are right now more conscious of even kids who have health struggles, and so wanting to support them during this time. And then threats. So threats outside of our control, COVID is a big one, but we definitely will do everything we can to prevent those risks, because especially partnering with Children's Mercy, we want to go about that in a very strategic way to make sure no one ends up sick. Government restrictions also out of our control, but we don't know when those will change, and so we stay up with officials to see what's going on, and we will plan accordingly to see even if we can rent the park. If we cannot, we're working with them on that already. And then as any event is outside, weather changes, we will always adapt to. Potential locations. There are three locations that we assessed in depth. Black Bob is our choice right now, but we also looked at Heritage Park and Swope Park Trail. So Black Bob Park, you've seen a map of already because it is our top choice. Runners would start here, and it is 1.5 miles, and so it would run 2 laps and then a little further for the finish line, which actually is helpful with social distancing. And because people would run on a loop, if we have water available, they'll run past the same one twice, and we don't have to have more stands. We can really capitalize on using that. Runners categorize this trail as easy, and it only has a 42-foot elevation gain, which is awesome if we're really trying to market toward people who don't necessarily run all the time outdoors. And then it is almost all paved. Part of it is gravel, but if the weather is fine, that shouldn't be a problem at all. Heritage Park is another one we looked at. This course, as you can see, is not a loop. It is an out and back course, which is one reason that we did not choose it. The 3.8 miles would have been nice because it's a definitely enough distance, because we want 3.1, but with it being an out and back route, we don't want to end up 3 miles away from where we started, and we don't want people running 2 directions on the same course. It also has blacktop pavement, and so if it is hot, it will really get very hot, and especially if we have kids walking with their parents or anything, we don't need anybody getting dehydrated. And it has a 147-foot elevation gain, which is probably too much for people who don't generally run. The third trail that we assessed was the Rancho Deluxe Loop. So this is a loop, which was positive, and it's 2.9 miles, which is why we initially thought it could be an option to extend a little further past that. But as you can see, the elevation gain is 314 feet, which is too much for people who don't, for just a 5K. These people aren't training for anything, they're hoping for a fundraiser. As well as the trails aren't clearly marked, and so our cost for maps and for signage and people directing people would have gone way up. And there are a few rocky areas that would not be ideal for children and even their parents. So as you can see, our top choice is the Black Bob Park Loop. Our target market for this 5K are runners in the KC area and Children's Mercy advocates. So runners, some people just want to run and will be looking for a 5K, and we need to be online places that they can find so that they know to find us and run with us. There are also people who look for a 5K for the first time, and we want to be their first choice because it's an easy route, it's for a good cause, we want to be right there. And then a first 5K experience, we think the route is very good for that because it's level, there's not a lot of uphill, and it's in a familiar park for a lot of people. The other target market for us is people who have had positive experiences with Children's Mercy, which we know is so many people across the Kansas City area, and so most people can think of someone who has been helped by Children's Mercy, or they know of it in the area, and just what a great place it is. And so to have people who have positive past experiences then are more likely to donate and give to the run, either participating or just financially donating. So reaching our target market, we have decided that the most cost-efficient way and a way to really target specific groups is through online. So we are creating a Facebook page for that because there are already Facebook groups such as the Kansas City Running Club, which has its own groups within it that we can talk to about our run, because runners talk to each other, they talk about, I'm running here, I'm registering, will you run with me? And so that goes into word of mouth. Once we get into those communities, they will talk to each other, as well as word of mouth, which with people who have positive experiences with Children's Mercy. The other positive things about social media is social media generally has people who want to be included in things and they want to be part of things. It's part of the reason they have a Facebook page and are trying to get connected. And so to be part of something that not only is they can be part of it themselves, like athletically, but then also people want to be seen as charitable, and so to be able to post about it, people like that, good or bad, they like to let people know they were involved in things, and then they can tag us as well, so then their friends can see what was that event and click on it and find more information about us. One really important step of marketing is letting people know before they have to ask, what do I do with this? What do I do with this information? And so at the race, we will have pamphlets containing information about how and where to give more money if after the race they really want to. There will be a QR code, so they just have to hold their camera up to it and it'll take them right to the website. That will also have information about how much we have raised, where the money's going, and who it's helping. That way they can really feel like they're part of something and have a positive experience, so that in the future they're even more likely to give again because they really saw where those funds went. We'll have links to Children's Mercy's website, and then we will also have hashtags around physically encouraging people to use a certain hashtag so that our event can be found by other people, and then we can go in later, look at the hashtag and look at the diagnostics about how it was interacted with, and how many people clicked on it, how many people used it, and everything that surrounds that. We're going to really encourage people to use that. It also is a good networking thing for Pioneer 5K and Children's Mercy to then have an online presence. Potential partners. So we, as you know, these are all companies who have partnered with Children's Mercy in the past, and they've been positive relationships, and our goal is to have 5 partnerships. I am approaching 15 potential partners, and these are the 15, and asking them for $500 to sponsor this. With that, 5 partnerships of $500 each, that would be $2,500 right off the bat. In exchange for that, their logo on our t-shirts would be promotional for them, as well as just a good, it helps them have their company seen by other people, and it's charitable, and companies like to be invested, and these are already companies who have worked with Children's Mercy in the past. So our marketing plan is the 5K will go with funds to outpatient therapy services at Children's Mercy. Our goal right now is to have it at Black Bob Park Loop in the Kansas City area. This will be aimed toward runners as well as supporters of Children's Mercy. And we will reach our target market through partnerships, word of mouth, and social media.
Yeah, Yeah, I think we're really excited about this marketing plan. I think it's very thorough, and I think we did, I think we've done a good job of targeting specific groups of people who will show out and will, definitely give, and again, I think the location is excellent. I'll discuss it here in a second, but I think the idea of doing a mostly all social media campaign is a great idea. I think it connects a lot of people and it really spreads the word. It spreads the word for us and it comes at no cost to us. So I think that's huge. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about finances and just how this is gonna go down from a money standpoint.
This is where it all comes down to, right?
Yes, this is the big thing. So, kind of an overview, our budget is $3,000. Our costs are going to be broken down basically into these three things. The great thing about having a 5K is that there isn't actually a lot of cost, especially with a company like us who runs 5Ks. We have a lot of equipment that we use, so really it comes down to these three things, which are the concessions, what food and drinks we're going to offer for them, again, which are free. The t-shirts is going to be the biggest portion, and then with COVID, masks. Having masks available, those are going to be the biggest things. We're going to talk about benefits, the things that will help us from a financial standpoint, either by straight giving us money or by not having to pay money. And then the provisionaries, what we will provide, and all the equipment that we can provide that will help cut down on cost. And then how the fundraising is going to go down, how we are going to make money for Children's Mercy. So the cost breakdown from the concession standpoint, our projected cost is $280. This basically breaks down, I just wanted to show everything that we will be buying so you can see what the money is going towards. A lot of water, we figured that was going to be really important for runners. Running is a very sweaty exercise, well, for some of us. And I wanted to say, we get all of this at Sam's Club or a wholesale market, that way we can get them for cheap. So 400 water bottles for $30. We also decided to get Gatorade bottles. That's a pretty common pretty common drink for a lot of runners. That's going to be actually the most pricey part of our concessions of what we're offering. It's $135. We're having granola bars, which are $34, 240 of them, like a variety pack. And then we're also getting apples and clementine oranges. This will be good for the runners, as well as just kids that are there, especially the clementine oranges. I know those are my favorite, and so I think those are going to be really good to have just in general for everybody. So more of a cost breakdown. The t-shirts is what's going to be the biggest deal for us. 280 t-shirts would be $2,735. That sounds like a lot, but as we're going to go through the funds and the benefits, it gets cut down a lot. It basically goes down to zero with all of the sponsorships that we're projecting to have. And that's just with the 5 out of the 15 or so. The surgical mask, I put an asterisk next to that just in case. I mean, I'm anticipating it still being around, but if COVID is as big of a deal as it is now, those are something that we're going to have just so we can keep everybody masked up and everybody safe. And then the park/the police reservation, we're looking at or under $150, and that's for if we're doing it at Blackwell Park. So the total cost, we're looking at $3,205. If you're looking at that and you're thinking we're over budget, which we are, but here's what helps us. Here are the benefits. The 5 local business sponsors for $500 a piece. That's $2,500 right off the bat. Basically takes care of our t-shirts, and going back, cuts down huge on our total cost. Another benefit that we have, it's not directly giving us money, but having NHS sponsors or having NHS volunteers work the event for us. It basically comes free. We don't have to pay for anything. It's just us four and volunteers, and we think that's really going to help cut down on our costs. Our social media campaign, having no money spent towards a campaign means that we have more money. And then the stuff that we can provide for you is another thing that we just don't have to spend money on. So going back, these are some of the things that we can provide. Pamphlets, we can print our own pamphlets. Trash cans, we have a lot of the trash cans here or with us. Registration tables, a sound system, which is really helpful. I'm really glad that we made that investment. Having it so we can make announcements and we can have that award ceremony, and have that be on our cost. A generator to power the sound system because the park really doesn't have electricity, so we have that to run all of our stuff. Canopies for the tables, awards, how we do our awards, we have the facilities for that, and the race bibs. Those are a pretty big part, and we have enough of those that we can provide, even if we have more people than we expect. So here's a breakdown of the cost budget. So the budget plus the sponsorships is $5,500. The total costs are $3,205, which the adjusted budget, or this is the money that we have left over, a surplus, is $2,295. So that's $2,295 that nobody shows up. We're still donating this amount of money. And I think as Pioneer 5K, we will cover the rest of that to get to 3,000 just to cover the budget, just so we're still making a healthy donation for you guys. Making money, the biggest way we're gonna make money, the biggest way we're gonna make money is through sponsoring runners. Allowing people to raise money for the runners. That's really where the bulk of our money comes from. Another big way is runner registration. $15 for 150, if we're picking the middle between the two estimates, 150 runners is a lot of money. As well as t-shirt sales. So at $7 a piece, we have a lot of money we can have the opportunity to make a lot of money. So just kind of as a summary, our budget or our surplus after benefits is $2,295. What we can provide for you right away. If there's nobody shows up, which we don't anticipate happening, we still have that money for you. And we are proposing a 70-30 fundraising split. So 30% comes to us just to cover our cost and help us make a little bit of money. And then 70% of it goes to you and goes towards the outpatient therapy program. So that is all of our presentation. Do you have any questions?
I do. I'm gonna eat a donut while we talk about that. We all should eat a donut too. Great presentation, first of all. Let's see. So let's talk about the masks. When you talked about the cost of masks, did you mean for the observers, or did you think the runners would need to wear masks? Whoever wants to answer it.
Well, I think everybody needs to wear a mask. I think with the runners, it's going to be really hard to have them masked.
Right.
And that's a really hard thing to do.
That's what I was thinking.
Working out in general.
I can't hardly talk and communicate.
Yeah. Yeah.
We definitely need to have one for like the award ceremony part.
Okay.
Once we're all together.
Right.
While they're running, hopefully they can stay away from
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, I would say while they're running is the only time to do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
understood.
Yeah.
So why, I'm thrilled that you picked Children's Mercy. Did you have a personal contact with us, or kind of why did you, what's your connection with Children's Mercy, or why you thought we would be a good place to donate money towards?
Well, growing up around the area, I've had a lot of connection with Children's Mercy. Especially, my brothers had a lot of problems, and they've always been great.
Okay.
And I think the biggest thing is what they can provide for people, especially during now.
Yeah.
With all the COVID and all of the extra costs that go towards everything,
Sure.
and especially the outpatient therapy. We figured that has to be one of the hardest parts of right now.
Right.
Is getting people out and helping the people that really need it. So
Yeah.
that's really what we were thinking.
Okay, great.
Really thought that was what we needed.
I love to hear when people have good personal experiences with us, because that's what we're all about, is helping our community. And David, I think you talked about, or kinda introduced the idea of using the Olathe North National Honors Group. Do you have any personal connection with them, or what made you think of that group?
No, I was just thinking about, leaders in our community. In high school, I was in a group called AVID. I don't even know if it's still a thing, but I remember we would do things like that. We had to go work a Relay for Life.
Okay.
And that was something that I connected with. That was something that I really, like, changed me. Like, I got out and branched with people. I ran a bunch of laps, and it just, really inspired me. So I was like, why don't we do that same thing?
That's great.
It also just gives back, so it's just everything comes back full circle. Those people want to grow up and change their communities
Right.
the same way.
Right. I wrote down a question for you, Nash, but I think you guys kind of answered it. It was kind of how will you get your volunteers? That's why I love that you figured out a group like the Honor Society. So, let's see, I had other questions written down. So Sarah, you guys talked about, I get why Heritage Park, that was the one I think that had the greatest slope, right? That was maybe one of the harder ones. So with Swope, do you know how far that is from here? Cause I was thinking, Children's Mercy is a Kansas hospital right on 435.
It's in the middle of Kansas City, which is why we initially thought it would be a great location.
Okay,
Because people even say it's a great, like, nature escape in the middle of the city.
okay. But I think it's still, if I know my geography right, it would be farther, I'm just thinking kind of geographically from your source, which is Children's Mercy. I think it'd be farther maybe than Olathe would be. I'm thinking maybe.
Yeah.
I like the idea too, since we're a Kansas-based hospital, I really like the location of being in Kansas, wherever you decide to have it. The other thing I wrote down, Sarah, when you were talking was, I think you talked about kind of two places to kind of push for volunteers and advocates. I'd really say follow up on and push that idea of Children's Mercy advocates. We have such a strong base of people that have a good personal experience, like Landon was just saying. Maybe even in some of your PR stuff, some of your marketing materials, find a story or two. I could probably provide you with a family or two that have a great small child that you could use and kind of have that face of the cause. I think that would be good. Let me think. Most of my questions are about the cost, and Landon, you got around to those. So how did this company start, and how come 5K is kind of an interest of you all's?
I think we just,
This is where you make it up, come on.
I mean, I think we all just have a passion for fundraising. That's really what we want to do. And as we've looked at it, 5K is we talked about it. It's not a high cost event. So I think that's kind of where we struck our inspiration, was we really wanted to find ways to help people.
Right.
And find ways to make money.
Right.
And so I think we found it with Pioneer 5K. I think that's where we're at.
Good. I love when you started talking, Sarah, about there's all these many other 5Ks in the area, I started getting a little nervous, but I really thought one of the smartest ideas you guys came up with was how you differentiate this one from the others, that it is for beginners. I mean, I've never ran a 5K, I've walked one, so I could walk this one, right, because it's flat and that kind of thing, so that would be good. I like that you guys talked about having myself or whomever from Children's Mercy involved at the end. Certainly would want to get up and give a story or two, that kind of thing. Oh, do you have any idea, or if you don't, this would be something I think you guys are gonna follow up with some reports. Do you know, I think Landon, you talked about the money, do you know what the average amount is that a runner raises?
I'm not sure of that. That is something that we can research and get back to you on.
Yeah. I think that is something to follow up. I think the whole making sure maybe somebody researches, the mask thing, making sure that according to standards right now in Johnson County, that it'd be okay for runners not to have the masks, but the crowd having them. And maybe just whoever this would fall under, especially because right now Johnson County just kind of tightened some regulations on events and stuff. Just looking at that, as you present those reports to me, whoever this would fall under, making sure that you've looked at the current Johnson County regulations and seeing, does this affect my plan, your plan at all? That kind of thing. I don't think it does because it's outside. Oh, date-wise, so we're going into winter, are you thinking, talk about dates or?
I think we were looking at, towards spring,
Okay.
to run it.
And again, maybe COVID will be a little less at that point, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, just those few comments I made that I'll be following up. I'd love to see your reports coming up, but, good job, guys.
Yes, thank you.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Relax, needed doing that, guys. We're off the clock. I have 15 minutes before my next. Well, he's gonna go be the first ones, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, you picked the best location. I'm glad that.
We set the bar for everybody.
Well, that's right. That's exactly right. Then I go and, because that's what teachers do, is then we judge against the others, right? Yeah, it seemed like, you had some frustrations early on and you had some people off